Well, and, you look at, we're probably going to not know until Wednesday. Because, I mean, even if they go, where is he headed? Detroit right now? John Schneider, I think we heard. Even if he has just an amazing interview with Ben Johnson, they pretty much laid out that we're going to leave no stone unturned. They're still going to go and check out Mike McDonald. So I'm thinking hopefully Wednesday we'll have an answer there. But, as far as, talking about, you gave up 17 points to Patrick Mahomes and Jason Kelce. That there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing on the other side with the Lions. They score 31 points, lose by a field goal to the Niners. So I don't think that there's anybody fretting over that. Like, oh, geez, we got the losers. Well, they're the losers of the AFC NFC Championship game.
We got the loser. We're taking a loser.
Yeah.
Well, every other candidate is a loser as well because they're not in the Super Bowl. So
exactly. So, yeah, you don't wait till the end of the year, and everybody on the staff that wins the Super Bowl is a genius, right? So, it'll at least we kind of know like Wednesday, and then he talks to both of them. I'm curious, like how soon after that? I mean, are they going to have to come home and go? Let's look at the pros and cons. Is this going to take a couple of days, or is it we got our guy? This is the guy we wanted. And, I don't know why they would be talking about going to see Mike McDonald if Ben Johnson was their guy. If that's the guy that they really think this guy, no matter what, and as soon as maybe they interview him and then go, all right, we're canceling our trip to Baltimore.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they've already spoken to Ben Johnson once. Now, it wasn't in person. It was over Zoom.
Yeah.
So they've already had that. They haven't had that with Mike McDonald. So
right.
I'm wondering, would they do an obligatory second interview with McDonald if they liked him? Or, so this will be the second interview with Johnson. It'll be the first with McDonald.
Right.
So are they going to be like, well, we talked to you when are they talking to McDonald? Tomorrow? Is that tomorrow? So, all right, let's talk again tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be that or what? I'm curious about the process since they've talked to so many of them twice. Is it going to be immediately? And what would be the point? What didn't you cover in that first interview the day before?
Right. Well, and how many interviews have they had? Or do we have a tally on that?
I think there were 8. Was it 8?
Was it 8?
Or 9?
Let's see. Well, they had 8 initial interviews, then they had 4 second interviews, and now they'll have presumably 2 more.
So Mike will be a new one because he's a first time interview.
What'd you say?
I said so. Radio math there. Someone else can figure it out.
Nice job, Mike. Yeah, I mean, I feel like also that the whole process at this point, you pretty much have it down. So if this is John's first time doing this, really, he's probably sat in on some things, in the past. But I don't know. I mean, Pete pretty much just went and hired whoever he wanted to hire. So this is a new process for John. But after that many interviews, you feel like you kind of, you pare down some of the questions. Like, these are the ones I really want to know. After having experienced these 12 other meetings, let's shorten it up a little bit and get right to this is what we want to hear, which I'd be so curious to know what those questions are.
Oh, love to. Maybe he'll tell us.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him. Hopefully he does the show leading up to the draft and everything like we did last year. But yeah, that would be really interesting to hear, what kind of things do you value and how do you get that from a meeting, especially over Zoom?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm wondering if they were like, all right, here are 10, 15, whatever number of questions we're going to ask every candidate and compare answers. And then you've got unique questions. So obviously, not everybody's the same. One person's an offensive coordinator, one's a defensive coordinator, one's been a head coach before, this one has not. So how are they going to, it's a different set of questions, I would assume, for each guy outside of probably a list of mandatory questions, if you will. This is me just speculating from the outside. Like you, I'd love to know.
Yeah, and I'll bet you, with Ben Johnson, you're asking him, what's a defense that really bothers you? And same thing with McDonald, what's an offense that really gets to you that, you have a problem with or whatever. I don't know that they're going to divulge that entirely. You don't say things like that during an interview. I think you're taught to keep it positive.
Yeah.
But, there's all kinds of different ways of getting information out of these guys to know whether he's your guy or not.
253 says, LOL. I know you like that, Dave.
Yes.
Lots of love. It's a coach, not a surgeon position. You know what? I'm not trying to say it's as important as a surgeon, but this is John's first crack and maybe only crack at this. And you're paying a coach millions of dollars. So the future of this franchise is sort of in the hands of the person you hire and deem worthy of that position. So it's not as throwaway as you're making it sound there. Like, just bring in whoever. We're not talking about saving lives here. Well, no, you're not. But it's extremely important. There's a lot of money being spent on this person, and a lot is being put into their hands. So, it's a little more important than that text is allowing for.
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think the times that I ever went in and had a bad surgeon. I don't think so. No, it's not happened. At one point, I remember I was scheduled to have a certain doctor with operate on my knee, and I was like, no, I'm going to Vail, Colorado, where Dr. Stedman is, and so, but no, not that. It's very important, yeah, and especially for John's career. I mean, this is a huge part of it here. I mean, is he? We kind of expect that he's going to have that same, at least I do, same sort of knack of, hiring people. I've seen John interview people that he just thinks are fantastic. There was a lady who was, I think it was our waiter or something like that, and she started talking, and then she had all of these, interesting experiences, and then John just started interviewing her, just like, what about this, and what do you think about that? And I'm like, this guy's a fisherman. He's out there trying to get good people. And,
he's like question boy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's good. You want to ask a lot of questions, unless you repeat or you have a whole string of questions, and the other guy who's standing there can't get a word in edgewise.
Oh, is that what happens? Is that what happens?
Whenever we're with somebody off air, I always have to raise my hand. I'm like, Bob. No, it's a good quality to have. You ask lots of questions, and if you ask more questions and make statements, I think you're going to get wiser. And so, but yeah, that's kind of how he is. Oh,
yeah.
Maybe I'll start calling him Question Boy.
He'll like that. He'll enjoy that.
Yeah.